says something. I'm gonna eat some pizza right now. I'm gonna find this little pizza joint up here. Go get me a pizza and probably the French Quarter. Might go back to the French Quarter to show everything. I wonder how I can do this. That looks yummy. Nice frost stop. Looks yummy. So I got a big bag of mushrooms. How you doing? Everyone wants a mushroom from me. Everyone wants mushrooms. So this thing, it's a pandemic thing. See the door? See the door? It's like for pandemics. Tulane University has it. For the next pandemic they have, they put you in this door there and seals you up. So I want a good pizza from like with a crispy bottom, like a really good burnt crispy bottom, kind of thin crust. I don't want a whole bunch of garden vegetables on top of it. I want a simple pizza, kind of flat, a little burnt on the bottom, with just like maybe pepperoni and spinach. Nothing chunky. I don't want chunky vegetables on my pizza. That is not the correct way to eat a pizza. Parked on this side of the street. Yeah, so I'm looking for a pizza joint. So they got Tower of Pizza on Veterans. Okay, close to the Orleans Parish Lawn. There's a place up here called Uptown Pizza. There's another joint called Reginelle's that I would like to eat. Tower of Pizza is originally from New Orleans East, from Dalman Road. It was a really famous pizza joint. And just like everything else, crime ran it out of New Orleans. Like there's so much crime in New Orleans. So they just had to get rid of it and move. So they moved to Veterans Boulevard, which is like paradise. Jefferson Parish is the place to be. If you come to New Orleans, you want to go to Jefferson Parish. If you move to New Orleans, you want to live in Jefferson Parish. Jefferson Parish is like, you know, where the real white people live, where it's really at, you know. Jefferson Parish is a really great place. I've always liked it. So, that's a really nice house right there in the corner. I like it. It's a good Tulane house. A lot of Tulane houses going good. Tulane flags hanging from the top. That's a nice little porch to sit on in New Orleans. But you see, the thing with this area, the problem with this area is you can't just walk out your front door. See, right now there's cops all over the place, but on a regular night, you can't just walk out of that front door and put your garbage out. You might get robbed. Like, seriously, you might get robbed. You gotta look before you check your mail. You know, you just can't walk out of your house when you're in Orleans Parish. But when you're in Jefferson Parish, I mean, you know, it's kind of like living in Seattle when I was good. Just a really, really nice place to be. Look at this thing. Isn't that a nice truck? Look at that. They cut the top off. What is this originally? Looks like an old Jeep. They building stairs right there. That's gonna be a nice stair system there. So yes, Eric Foss is MIA. You know, Eric's been kind of getting weird. I mean, he changed. First, Eric Foss swapped out the double point intro that made him famous. I mean, no one will be watching Eric Foss right now if he did not have that original double thumb point intro. Everyone knows this. He changed it. Now he's not coming online. And he's acting like Robert Wasso, MIA. And I think, you know, this is like really disturbing behavior. First, he takes the double thumb point intro away, and then, you know, he just stops doing lives. So yeah, a lot of strange activity coming from Baltimore. I mean, you know, what are they doing in Baltimore? Baltimore doesn't have enough mushrooms. That's what's wrong. Okay? If Baltimore had a lot of mushrooms like I do, they would not be having these problems. This is the store that the Palestinian guy owns that he stares at me. He doesn't like my bracelet. And doesn't like my nose. Uptown. This is New Orleans after dark, and I would like to show you something around the corner from here. So, good place to be right now. Not in threat of being an armed robbery victim because of the large police presence approximately 2/8 of a mile away from here, which is officially a quarter. 2/8 is a quarter, okay? Oh, we got comments here. Analyzing the boss with Dr. Wolf. Yeah, you know, he changed the double thumb point intro, and, you know, a lot of people were upset over that. You know, he lost endorsement deals because of that. You know, and then he's got the drum, the big bum 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 bum, and then of course on the third bum bum he lights a cigarette up, and he thinks that's good. And the double thumb point intro, is it? I have no idea what's going on with this guy. Foss is funny, not a real lowlife like others. Oh yeah, do you have anyone in mind that you're speaking of here? There's more comments here. I'm missing some of these comments, so if I don't read it, it's not that I'm ignoring it. Sorry, I fell off by accident and driving and you almost made me wreck. Close up, you better go get you some Little Caesars. Fucking Little Caesars. You think I eat fucking Little Caesars? That's fucking disgusting. Jesus Christ. Little Caesars. If my life got reduced to that where I was eating Little Caesars for pizza, I mean, I might as well hanging up. Are you ignoring me? No, I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to pay close attention to my surroundings. I am in Orleans Parish, and there are lots of armed robberies around here. I don't even know where I park. My car may even be gone. So much crime around here. You have John Wolf is going to be my co-host. Oh yeah, we are. We're going to do that. Hey, this ain't funny. I don't even know where I parked at. It's not funny though, I'll tell you that. This is getting to be not that funny. Somebody's playing a joke on me and moved my car. I may have walked right past it. He is even, well, I don't even think he's paying attention. I'm kind of not. You fall from the French Quarter? No, not at all. I'm approximately 4 miles from the French Quarter. About 4 miles. I am uptown. Okay. I am uptown. I'll be passing through the French Quarter on my way home because I live right on the other side of the French Quarter. Foss is funny, not like that. I like your nose. That guy at the store does not. You make me laugh. Joke. Oh, we found a vehicle. This key works on this vehicle. I think I'm going to take this vehicle and drive it. So yeah, right now we will be looking for an adequate pizza place. Did I like to eat pizza? Ah, what's this? Nice. Okay. This is like you. Okay, I'm looking for a good pizza place. Probably Uptown Pizzeria. Maybe Jefferson Parish. Maybe Reginelli's. Maybe the original Italian pie. So I got something. It's a new coalition. It's called the Triple I's. The Israeli, the Italian, and the Irish. How you like that? And we're upset with the Catholics, and we're coming for you. Okay. So look, I'm going to be coming up in here again. Yeah, so Eric Force kind of turned his back on us, okay? Eric Force is back on us, you know. He went MIA, but before he did that, try me something. Before he did that, though, David Simone, I don't know what that is. What series you're talking about? Yeah, I always eat kosher, Cheech. So yeah, Eric Force changed the intro from the double point thumb to what it is now, and very dramatic. Got a drum to it, cigarettes being lit. You know. Yeah, he's neglecting his core supporters by altering the intro. So yeah, watch how crazy. I want to go live with her, and she just doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to go live and drop me a link. You know, it's like a running joke. It's like I've been trying to get live with Watch Her Crazy for 4 months now, and nothing. Okay. Left a little early. They actually might cover this point spread. They just scored another touchdown. So I left a little early because everybody else is leaving. But I was really hungry. I fast all day because it's Saturday. I fast on Saturdays. And that's it. So yeah, I'm going to keep this on until I go to French Quarter, I think. You know, if I wasn't so hungry, I would stop and get some beignets. Y'all know what beignets are? It's French donuts. If you ever come to New Orleans, you got to eat the beignet. You got to try a beignet. away from Christmas and it's fucking hot. I want to go. Oh, you know what? You know where we can go? We can go look at the Christmas lights at City Park. It's a big display too. I don't know if they lit them or not yet. I think they light them after Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's after Thanksgiving. So after Thanksgiving, I'm gonna take you to Christmas in the Oaks. It's a very, very large display, and it's a pretty penny. It's like $20-$30, something like that, to walk through it or to drive through it. It's in City Park, but I'm gonna take you there. It's after Thanksgiving. They light it all up. It's called Christmas in the Oaks, and it's famous. It's like it's probably the biggest Christmas display in the South, in the deep South. It's this big. It's City Park. It's really big. It's by the museum in the front, and it's really big. So a lot of Christmas lights they put up. Yeah, I'm gonna look for a pizza place. So. William Brooklyn. Who's talking about William Brooklyn? Is William Brooklyn there? You know, William Brooklyn wishes he had as much fun as John Wolfe. William Brooklyn can only dream that he can have as much fun as Dr. John Wolfe. Okay? This city's changed so much since the 90s. It was really bad in the 90s. There's more white people that live here, believe it or not. A lot of the white people bought up a lot of these old houses. And this is why this is going on all around the country. It's called Agenda 2030 or Agenda 2050 Sustainable Development Plan. And that is, in the United States, they're going to have 10 mega city zones, okay? One's going to be Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio, that triangle. One's going to be Atlanta, and so forth and so on. And people are buying in these large zones because in the future, everyone's going to be forced to live in one of these 10 mega cities. You're going to have to be, quote unquote, on the grid. You're going to have to be in the flock camera network, and you're not going to be allowed to live in rural places. In every place that you see a small town, so traditionally small towns are built next to freshwater creeks because they need fresh water. Well, there are these mega data centers that drive these AI quantum supercomputers. They also require a lot of water. And what they're doing right now, I don't know if you noticed this, but out in the rural areas, they're building these big data mega centers. And it's going to use so much electricity and so much water that it's going to like dry up the town from the water. So all these small towns you see are going to be replaced in the future by large data centers, okay? And that's why you're starting to see all this, they call it gentrification, where the white people are moving back into the cities. And you're like, why? Why do you want to go where all the problems are? Because they know that if they build a big house out in a rural area, they're not going to have electricity there 15, 20 years from now. They're not going to have municipal services outside of these 10 mega city zones. It's real simple. They're going to say that it's an environmental thing. It's because of global warming, blah, 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 blah. You can't get electricity out of one of these 10 centers, zones. You won't be able to get the services that everyone is pretty much dependent upon. I say dependent like it's a drug. They're dependent on. People are freaked out. People freak out when electricity goes out for more than 2 days. They don't know what to do. They completely freak out. They will never survive on this planet. So everyone's going to have to live in this one of these 10 mega city zones. No, this is not a conspiracy theory. Go to the United Nations website, the actual United Nations website, and go to the Agenda 2050 Sustainable Development Plan, and you will see a map of the United States with the 10 zones in it. So no, it's not a conspiracy theory. So anyway, that is why people are buying back in cities again. They're starting to move into cities because they want to retain generational wealth, and you can't do that with property out in the middle of nowhere because it will be worthless a couple of years from now. So yeah, Hoovervilles. That's what we're gonna be living in. Hoovervilles that they had in Manhattan Park back in the day. What future is for us? Well, who is us? Who is us? Okay. Professor, Rabbi, Prophet, John Wolf. Yeah, well, that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, and Washer Crazy does not want to go live with me. That's why she's not making any comments about it. Magic multicolored shoes. Yeah, so they got a lot of things going on, and you're not. How do you feel about that? Okay, so looking for a good pizza joint to eat at, and I'm gonna go home. I still got oysters left over to cook.
Then for our finale, we'll remain in Russia, where a symphony by Dmitri Shostakovich
I'm gonna move for
among his breeziest.
That's what I'm gonna move for.
Even in its approachability, a work that still rankled the impossible to please Soviet cultural authorities of the 1940s.
Get used to this. This is around Jackson Avenue. This is like where it starts getting bad.
Coriolan Overture was inspired by Heinrich von Collins' play Coriolan.
This is actually where, I don't know if y'all ever heard of
Von Collins' play enjoyed some success.
all those New Harlem rappers like Baby and the guy Terrence Gangster. You see him on Vlad a lot. They're from this neighborhood right here. Like Terrence Gangster Williams is from, this is Felicity Street right there. So he's from here. This is right where they're from. Felicity, Barone, all those little streets they lived on. BG, that rapper, he's from right there, that neighborhood. So, and believe it or not, back in the 90s, black people lie a lot. They claimed they was making a bunch of money selling drugs. They wasn't making that much money selling drugs in that neighborhood. That neighborhood, the only people that were selling drugs to were the people who lived in that neighborhood. They didn't have money back then. The niggas who made money during the crack era were in the 9th Ward and Gert Town, because Gert Town was right next to Jefferson Parish, and that's where all the money was coming from. The people with money was coming from Jefferson Parish. So when you hear these stories of like BG and whoever claiming they was making $1,000 a week selling crack, I really doubt that. If they were living in Gert Town or the lower 9th Ward, maybe so. Maybe they were. But not in the 3rd Ward. The 3rd Ward is broke. It's in the middle of the city. Nobody's driving to the 3rd Ward to go score. Nobody is. So they wasn't making that kind of money out there. They might have been wholesaling, but they wasn't doing the real money's on the streets. They wasn't doing that. So that's a lot of lies. They were broke until they all started rapping. You believe that? They was all broke until they started rapping. They just wasn't from the right area. See, I know that because I'm from here, but the guy who lives in Missouri, who's a big fan of Master P or whatever, he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that Corey Miller and Master P were not making money selling crack to the neighborhood crackheads. They were not making that much money. They were making lunch money. On the 3rd of the month, on the 1st of the month, when the whole neighborhood got paid. They wasn't making the big money like it was in Gert Town. They wasn't making that Sam Scully money, that's for sure. They were broke until they started rapping. You believe that? Here's Canal Street. The French Quarter's that way. See? French Quarter's that way. It's a good look, I got reason enough to stay out the French Quarter right now. The state police is in town. I think the National Guard's here too. And you know what? That's where they're at. They're in the French Quarter, you know, because they're down there trying to shake down all the businesses and, you know, all that shit. Trying to get free food and extra money to do private security work and all that shit. So yeah, they're not in this area. So I don't want to drop. Really only like going around there. It's a big tourist trap. The French Quarter is nothing what it used to be when I was younger. When I was younger, it was like a bunch of ballrooms and all the locals went there. That was just a giant tourist trap, and it's all like chain places now. It's not individually, locally owned bars and restaurants. It's all like Hard Rock Cafe and in the French Quarter. That wasn't what the French Quarter was about. So yeah, they got all these. They commercialized it like they did with Vegas, like they did with 42nd Street. The Truth loves Midtown Manhattan. The Truth is a big fan of Midtown Manhattan. So yeah, they call it. They Disneyfied it. That's kind of what they did to the French Quarter. They brought in all of these large corporations and all that shit. Look, I got some lights coming up. Some kind of emergency vehicle. I want to show you that Masonic Lodge right there. It's a really old building. It looks very different from the rest of these buildings. This is the overpass here. So all the Negroes go out there on weekends, on Sundays, and they all got their four-wheelers, and they rap music, and they barbecue, and they cold drinks, and frozen cups, and cheap cough syrup with promethazine in it, and they call that lean. So yeah. So this is New Orleans at night. See that? So yeah. Tulane is doing decent. They will probably win this game. They were winning on the left, but they probably won't cover the spread. Even though they were right there at 16 points on the left, the game was too tight. 17.5 points is too much for any team. I don't know what it is. They was coming off that big win from Memphis last week, which was a really big win. And they got, you want to buy heroin, you go right there. Bam. That's where they at. It's the heroin spot. See? New Orleans after dark, see? And they're getting ready for tomorrow. They do this every Sunday. And it looks like they're starting early again, see? And this is like a tradition. This is like a New Orleans tradition. Every weekend, every Saturday, every Sunday, this is going to all be full. And it's friendly. It's, you know, like, I can go out there. I'm a white guy. I can go out there. Nobody's going to give me any shit about it. You know? We don't really have all that right there here. There's a lot of racial tension right now between blacks and whites in New Orleans. A lot of it's political and shit, you know, a lot of it to do with politics and whatnot, crime related. But for the most part, you don't really get any shit from black folks. It's the white people. It's kind of a little bit more. Hey, look, multiculturalism doesn't work. It just doesn't. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It never did. It didn't work in the Tower of Babel. It didn't work in the Torah. What makes you think it's going to work today? If it didn't work during the Tower of Babel days, what makes you think multiculturalism is going to work today? And they completely destroying Europe. And people are blaming, you know, get this right, people. It's the International Bank of Settlements. Okay, every time a government borrows money from the central bank, the International Bank of Settlements, when they print up $1 trillion and just give it to a country, they need to balance the economy. The way to do that is with immigration. So every time your local sheriff, your local politicians, Donald Trump, whoever, borrows trillions of dollars from the central bank, our borders open up. It's not Jews, it's not Democrats, it's politicians and nations borrowing money from the central bank, and the central bank, the Bank of International Settlements, requires for millions of immigrants to move in to balance out the economy, because they just printed up trillions of dollars and injected it into an economy, and the average person doesn't understand that. So they want to blame like Mexicans and the people who are actually coming here. They want to blame Jews for what reason, I don't know. I got no idea where they get that from. But no, this is all coming from nations, but in Europe's doing it too. Nations who borrow money from the central bank are required to open their borders and bring in millions of immigrants to balance. It's like playing the game of Monopoly. You start off with what, $200 every time you pay a school. What if you gave everybody $1,000 in Monopoly money? Well, now Broadway is going to cost more than $500 because you got thousands of dollars in your bank. It's no different. It's just how money works. That's how inflation works. The average person doesn't understand that. Look at this. They put a hipster smoothie king in the middle of the fucking hood. That makes no sense at all. But it's doing pretty well. That's because the French Quarter, 7 blocks to my right. So I guess they're doing enough to stay in business there, but it looks totally out of place. See, I'm getting hungry, so I'm getting off of here right now. I gotta go eat.